Toastmaster. Most welcome guests. You're not a Toastmaster yet. Clara, you're okay. I'm very pleased to see all of you here at the meeting number 268 of our wonderful Toastbusters Club. And we are a part of a worldwide organization. For those of you who don't know, but I think everybody knows that. The organization unites about 140,000 members all over the world. And here we are to practice our public speaking skills and leadership skills. Since there are no newcomers today, I kindly ask you to put the sounds of your cell phones off. And we are ready to start our meeting. And I invite to the stage the Toastmaster of today, it's Tatyana Gladysheva. Now we are talking about disco in our generation. When I grew up back in 90s, and that was historical time, that period. Later, this period got labeled as dashing 90s. Over that time, I remember that the values of many previous generations instantly became worthless. New countries appeared on a map. Wind of change was in the air. And but when you are young, you don't really pay attention to what's going on in global around you, but mostly you're concentrated on close things to you. And what are those things? Parties, friends, love stories, get together parties, everything. And since 90th was the time of extreme popularity of disco, I associate that time with this lifestyle. So tonight I'm recalling to your memories to find out when you are thinking about disco, what comes up to your mind. It may be lifestyle, outfit, music, fashion, everything. So I would like to invite to this stage Toastmaster of today, Clara Lengeju. Did I say your last name? Here are our meeting. Okay. I thought was supposed to be the last one in this. So, but yeah, it's okay. Sorry, who's the timekeeper? Okay. Yeah. So personally, I understand from disco as this. In my generation, for instance, more teenagers and people in their early 20s go to clubs and bars to enjoy themselves through especially music, dancing, drinking, and whatever. That's what first comes to me in my mind when I hear disco. And yeah, personally, honestly, I've never gone to a public disco because it's not exactly one of my interests. But yeah, I know most people have gone and it's what they enjoy. And what I think about this is there's a funny thing that usually people say that if you don't do certain things at a certain age where most people do it, you might find yourself doing it when you're older. And I personally don't agree with that. Like, there's no way when I'm in my 70s I'm going to disco or something just because I need to go in my early 20s or my teenagehood. So I personally believe that, like, as long as it's your interest and you love dancing, singing, drinking, whatever, just do it to the maximum and do as much as you can until like it's enough, like until you're in your late 30s, of course, 20s. But if you're like me, who like would get the same level of enjoyment just sitting at home and watching a movie on that Friday night or reading or sleeping, then yeah, that's what you're going to do. So I believe like instead of like just just going to a disco, following a crowd, like friends and everything. You better just know first of all what exactly interests you. If that really is really what you love, then go for it. Like no questions asked. Like go dance, enjoy. But if you're just like me, just stay at home, sleep. Yeah, just live your life and enjoy it.
Which is good. Traveling is always very exciting thing to do. You can live your happy moments again, or you can find some educational moments, live them again, and come to conclusion that you did right things or not. So I would like to invite to this stage Anastasia Grebenyuk, and with the explanation of our timing rules to make sure we do everything right tonight. Anastasia, please take it.
Thank you very much, Tatyana. Dear Toastmasters, I'm happy that today I'm your timer. As you know, I'm in Greece, but today I was literally late because of my work and crazy Moscow timetable. So without any further delay, I would like to introduce you the timing rules of our meeting. We have 3 cards, green cards. That means that you can continue your speech, but and you are in time. We have also yellow card. That means that you should be about to finish your speech. And we have the red card. That means that you are risk to be not in time, and you just should finish your speech as soon as possible. I would like to mention that today we don't have any contest, so you won't be disqualified immediately out of this room if you are not in time. But for your future Toastmaster, not career, but pathways, you should respect our time rules. So I will control it. I have some mechanical and electronic devices, and I wish you a good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for detailed explanation. A few years ago, I went to a wedding of my cousin to another city, and the generation of bride and groom, their generation, they were slightly over 20. But the thing surprised me most of all, but they all were listening disco music. We listened back to 90s. And that made me feel young again. And now I would like to introduce George Perelman, who has another interesting story from his young years. George?
I'm here.
The virtual stage is yours, please.
You know, I'm in dark room, so you cannot find, look at me. So as for, imagine it was like 20 years ago, and my friend has a wedding party, and we had restaurant, and there were water, how is it called? I forget. Water park, like small water park close to it. And you realize that in these dark circumstances, as we were there, we just lay down after the wedding. We lay down and bathe there, and it was not necessary for us in what we did it, in which clothes we did it. We just had a fun. So imagine it was like night, as you see me, and we see each other in that way also. So it was really funny. I don't know how to describe it and to show it, but it was a really, really nice time. Thank you.
George, please explain your role.
My role?
Yes,
Yes.
by the way.
I just fell down in my my memories. So my role is to count I, and as you heard, I also do I sometimes. So that's not right example. So don't do it as I do it. And we'll count it, and I will tell you truth after your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Okay, now it's about time to move to the main part of our meeting, prepared speeches. And when I asked our first speaker what was her favorite attribute of disco, guess what she replied? It is mirror disco ball, cassette recorder, multicolored leggings, and a plastic jewelry. And I would like to invite here Ekaterina Dymova with her speech. The high price, the price is high, the reward is great, right? The price is high, the reward is great. Ekaterina Dymova, thank you.
Do you know Maya Angelou? Yes. Great. Memories, human rights activists, and popular point. In one of her speech, she said, "We are only free when we realize that we belong no place, we belong every place. No place at all. The price is high, the reward. When I thought, I thought, well, wrong actually, because belonging is essential. What kind of world would it be if we belong nowhere? It would be probably just a bunch of lonely people who exist, right? So I couldn't accept this idea. I truly believe that human beings, we are always looking for a place which we want to belong to, or a group of people we want to be with or belong to. We just can't be alone, be detached from everything and be separated from everything. So I think in order to figure out if it was right or wrong, I don't know, I decided to ask myself questions. And I invite you to ask the same question. Do I really belong to this particular place where I was born personally, or where you are right now? Have you ever experienced a sense of belonging to a particular place somewhere else, this one planet? And do you really want to belong to any place? So in order to answer these questions, I dug deep into myself, and this is exactly what I managed to unearth. It was clear for me that I had no sense of belonging to this particular place, even though I was not here. But I traveled a lot, and I thought, okay, maybe somewhere else I felt this, belong. I had the belonging feeling. However, I didn't, and I thought, okay, maybe this is because all my trips were kind of small, for 1, 2, or maximum 3 weeks. And I decided, okay, I'm going to figure out. And only in 2016, something, I quit my job and decided to go to find my place where I belong to. And I didn't come up with anything more original than London, where I moved to live eventually. I spent there 4 months after just months, when I settled down, made friends, and found some wonderful places where I felt, which I felt in love with. I said, okay, London, here it is, exactly the place where I want to. I liked it. However, after a couple of months, something, when everything became familiar and affecting me, I thought, no, kind of not my place. And by the end of my journey, I realized, no, it's not my place at all. Even though I love still London, but it's not my place. I don't belong to that place. And moreover, I had more questions than before. And that long trip only intensified my desire to keep moving on in order to find my place or confirm otherwise. So my next destination was Australia, Sydney to be exact. I had a lot of things happen in Australia when I was here for 4 years. New projects, new people around, studies, new emotions, new feelings, acceptance of myself and difficult situations, struggles, and so on. And eventually, fortunately, one day I realized, okay, after long, by the way, thinking and meditations and reflections, so I really realized, okay, probably the most important thing is not to belong to some particular place, but to yourself. Because through belonging to yourself, we can probably make any place ours. And when we feel comfortable and at peace with ourselves, again, any place ours. And well, in this sense, Australia was the very place where, for the first time, I felt what it means to belong to myself. And I'm very proud of it. So the price is high, so what is free? Thank you for it.
Thank you very much, Ekaterina. Thank you very much, very touching speaker. Our next second speaker, Daniil Pyzhlakov. I asked Daniil, if he had a choice now of going to disco party or rock concert, what would he choose? Daniil has chosen going to rock concert because you don't need to dress up and you don't need to have dancing skills. Dancing on the rock is just jumping. How easy is that? Please welcome Daniil Pyzhlakov.
Yes, so first of all, short announcement. I'm doing the project where I have to do one speech at a time. So if you need something for my story today, don't go crazy. You will think that again shortly. And I really want to kind of present today. That's why I enrolled first and received the topic later. And when I heard that this guy in your generation, I was a little puzzled. Because the disco style is the United States, late 70s, like 77, 78. And I was born a little bit later. Not that young, but a little bit later. So I'm from generation what's called X or Pepsi. Yeah? And what I witnessed in person in 10 years of Soviet estrada, you know, the kind of the song of the year, just facing of the year. Pista Voda, then 90s was of course rap and roll, the electronic music, rap and rock again, but no disco. And actually I was a bit thinking, so what am I going to tell about this? Because there's nothing in my life. But thanks to Tatyana, she kind of helped me to expand my understanding of disco, because it's not really only the music, it's the style, it's the kind of the way of clothes, it's the colors, it's kind of emotions. Because United States in the 70s is really kind of a new era. It's the new music, new styles. Because the disco really coming from the origin like the funk, soul. It was really new. And from that perspective, it's something new and bright. I think I had that experience, and not only GI, and it wasn't voluntarily. But to tell you the story, I need to step a little bit back to give you the context. Because I was born in a small town, like maybe 8,000 kilometers from Moscow. Close to Far East, close to China or Japan. And a major employer in the city was their military plant. So we produced the Sukhoi jets. And of course, during the 90s, the economy was poor. Our kind of country doesn't need a lot of crops. And our major partner was the China, actually. And the Chinese was smart, so they didn't pay the kind of real money, the cash, so they kind of did the partner. So they sent the crafts and they sent us back in kind of clothes, pharmacy, electronic devices, like food, whatever. It was like the exchange. And of course we were happy because we were very far from Moscow, from central part of Russia. And this was the only way to survive, to be honest. So we were kind of stable, it was good, I was happy until the one day, then for some reason, our Chinese partners decided to put a very strange set of clothes into the kind of exchange. It was kind of not the standard black and white, gray, but it was like a colorful, funky style. I don't know for what reason, but they kind of decided to do that. And of course, the plant received that, my parents received that, and I received that. So I remember I opened the wardrobe and I saw it was the kind of, now it's called the oversized, like gray jacket. It was the brown shoes and the color of pants I cannot even describe. It's something bright actually. And of course, not only me, the whole city, or major part of the city received that. And in a day or two, we all came to the school. And so on contrast to the kind of dark blue, gray, and black, in certain day, we all came bright, like the pink, yellow, green, the whole colors. And it was really like the fresh style, like the disco party. So everybody was joking, mocking at each other, of course, on the highway, because we only said it was our choice, had to do that. It's not much option. Yeah. And that reminds me of maybe that emotions that the disco brought to the people. Yeah? And this film, the Saturday Night Fever, is the manifest of the disco. So they actually take the film in our school. And not only for the Saturday night, for the 2 weeks, until the next exchange, then our partners kind of realized that there is something wrong and put some other clothes, and the party was over. But the 2 weeks, it was kind of really bright sport in my memory about that times. So that, I guess, was the only kind of my connection to the European disco in that way, not with the music. And not maybe pleasant because we didn't want it, we did, but it was on a positive side. It was like the icebreaker for the group. So I guess that after that, I can feel myself comfortable in the clown dress, yeah. And the second, that the fashion is in cycle. So it's going and coming. And I noticed that the flat trousers are already appears and the colors are back. So maybe I should give my mom a call and see if it's there and give this another try.
This is the sleeping room somewhere where we can find a place. Our third speaker, Olga Latanova, I asked her one simple question. What you like better out of disco attributes? Would it be music, outfit, or disco ball? Olga had chosen music, and her favorite group was Earth, Wind, and Fire. And now I would like to invite here Olga Latanova with her speech, How to Make Team Dream Big. Team Dream Big, Olga Latanova.
So, dear fellow Toastmasters, okay. Yeah, my topic is very far from disco, but okay. So those of you who might who are somehow connected with marketing might heard a phrase that was said by Bill Gates, and the phrase is "content is king." I believe that it's still true for 2022, but I think that more people would agree that communication is king. In my current Toastmasters project, I'm exploring communication, and the task is to develop a communication plan in any area and to share with you the experiences. 3 days ago, I arrived from my business trip in Thailand, in Bangkok. With my boss, we were doing a workshop on strategy for local affiliates in Thailand. The workshop has standard content, but what is particularly difficult, and we do it in different affiliates, but what is particularly difficult for this workshop is to develop an efficient communication plan. And let me give you the context. Thailand affiliate is number 23 on the market, so they're not market leaders. The team, they lack capabilities, they are poorly trained, and they are doers, executors. They don't have strategic mindset at all. And on top of that, 25 people in the room, 2 of us, cultural difference, Asian culture versus Western culture, and English is also not their strength. And now, what our headquarters want? They want Thailand affiliate to double their business in 5 years and to get into top 10 players, which for them is a crazy idea, as you can imagine. How to do it? So, in other words, we should make unprepared people believe that they can accelerate and commit to it. To make it possible, you need 2 things. They should know why they can do it and how they can do it. They should have an idea how to do it. So we had to build a communication plan around these 2 things, why and how. To make them believe, we did few things. We talked about change, and we brought even historical examples, how change can change, what change can do, what impact. We brought the example Alexander Makedonsky, who created a huge empire in 13 years with very limited resources. We also brought a lot of successful cases from different companies, from our companies, other multinational companies, and we told them how to think differently to achieve success. We also were creative from psychological point of view. We asked them, what are your excuses why you can't do it? And they wrote it on paper. There were 70 reasons. 17, yes. And in front of them, we demonstrated that there is no logic behind these reasons. Oh, and so they are wrong and they are delusional. So that we made them believe. Then we moved to how. We shared with them different frameworks and concepts, and more important is that these concepts were not from the textbooks. They were real concepts that we developed ourselves, and they worked in other affiliates of us. And then they practiced this concept doing a business simulation, a game that we prepared for them. So that was how. Also, on top of that, we had some psychological tricks, elements embedded in the workshop. So first of all, we ourselves as a team, we demonstrated how credible we are. We were very well prepared. We knew everything about the affiliate, and they were surprised. They were coming first time, how do you know? We created the impression that we know everything, because as they entered the conference room, all the walls were covered with tables, graphs, charts, everything. They were impressed. Second, we engaged them through different, so we had nominations. So best participant would get this and that. We organized team dinner for the team. So, you know, in a while, okay, we did another interesting thing. We made them commit in the workshop. They wrote on the paper what they're going to change in themselves after the workshop and what exactly they will do for this acceleration plan. And another last thing, we started celebrate already in the workshop. We brought champagne, we opened the bottles, and they felt as if they're already on the journey, as if they started the journey. So I'm proud to say that our communication plan worked really well. So we started in a safe environment, like learning, having fun, but gradually we put people into real work. We inspired them that they can do it. And they started gradually doing the real work of the real issue. So to conclude, I realized something. My takeaway is the following. Communication plan is much more than words. This is also the strategy. This is also how you do it, in which format you do it, and this is also action, and something which is between words and between action. And if you are able to orchestrate all of that in a nice way, you can, any team, dream big.
Our first part is over. Let's have 5 minutes break then. We have 10 minutes. You want 10 minutes? We are behind the schedule. That's why I 5 minutes. But let's have 5. We have chocolate cookies over there in the small trees. And also we have a tip jar over there. So if you want to donate 100 rubles for club development, please do so. Or you can do it your money transfer using the PIN number.
I'm a history. But the club is very friendly. This is my first time. Yes, I just found that. Also, I'm a guest here. And Olga, there's no many.
Не уходите.
Ну ладно, да, вот.
Yes.
Break is over. Our second part. Dear fellow Toastmasters, let's have some fun with improvisational speeches. And our table topic classic tonight is Daniil Clara. With the question to Daniil Clara. The question was, if he thinks that disco is a solid piece of subculture or just a fashion trend, listen to what he replied, and you need to be Daniil Clara to reply this way. Listen to it carefully. Like a cylinder appearing to be rectangle in one projection and a circle in another, disco can be both a solid piece of pop culture and a fashion trend simultaneously, depending upon the circumstantial context. See?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Dear fellow Toastmasters, as always, the table topic session is the session that follows the session of the prepared speeches. And this is the session where we practice our skills of improvised speaking. We all have been inspired by the introduction to the disco, and I can think of I Have a Dream song to Ra Rasputin, Russian famous excellent. However, there is one date this week that is difficult and actually, I believe, impossible to bypass. And that is what is known in many countries, particularly in many European countries, as the Armistice Day. That is the day when the horrors of the First World War were seized. And that is when a breath of fresh air has again taken over the hearts and minds of the European and North American people. That's where most of fighting was taking place. The streets of Paris, London, and New York were inundated with joy and happiness. That was the day of hope. And that's why I would like to invite you to contemplate on this and to talk about peace in our life. I have prepared some quotes, and I would like to invite you to express your thoughts on those. And over during the table topic session, the timing for those these improvised speeches is from 1 minute to 2 minutes, and our timer will show you a green signal after 1 minute, a yellow signal after 90 seconds, and by 2 minutes you should be wrapping up your speech as I'm doing now. And I would like to invite to this stage the first volunteer. Are there anyone in the audience here? Is there anyone in the online audience, perhaps? Miles, welcome. Can you hear me, Miles? Good. Miles, I ask you to choose from a number from 1 to 9, please.
3.
Which one?
3.
3. Excellent. Peace begins with a smile. Mother Teresa. Peace begins with a smile.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Peace begins with a smile. That's really very true. A smile is a gift that you can give at any time to anyone, any place. And it can change a person's day for the better. They might be really sad and down. And you know, that's the joy of the disco era, where it was really happy music. I remember when I was 18, it was 1978, and things were a lot different back then, you know. And here, this will bring a smile to your face. I think I used to have hair. I don't anymore. So, you know, it's just joy and dance and smiling. That's what we can think about. And that is what you referred to when the people in Paris and other places were dancing in the street for joy. So peace begins with a smile and a dance. And I hope to stay with you for a bit longer, but my battery power is down to 20%. So, Mr. Table Topics Master, my smile for everyone and blessings to everyone.
Thank you very much, Miles. Who would like to continue, please? Olga, please. A number to choose from 1 to 9, except 3. 1, excellent. John Lennon, imagine all the people living life in peace. Imagine all the people living life in peace. John Lennon. Olga Latanova. Living life in peace.
When I hear that phrase, what comes to me first? This is the image of this beautiful couple, John and Yoko. And you know, this phrase connects to this image very, very closely. And I think through their lives, through their attitude, and through things they have done in this planet, they translated this phrase to the whole world. actually, this is what these few things that they mentioned in this phrase. This is the only thing that we need for their happiness, not only in individual person's life, but in the whole world's life. And I believe that we should always remember this phrase, have it in our head in all difficult moments of our life, refer to it. Genius phrase. Thank you.
How inspirational. Thank you, Olga. Olga, addressing the quote by Jonah. Who would like to come to the stage and improvise, please? Any volunteers? Shall I be asking for somebody? Irina, they invite you. Yeah.
Me? I'm very shy for the part.
That's all right. Please don't be shy. We're all a very friendly bunch. However, we respect your choices and decisions as well.
I think number 7.
Number 7, excellent. Would you?
No, not
Not you.
you should speak, please.
Would you like us?
To speak. I think my English is not good enough.
Right. Would you?
Yes.
Okay. Please. Number 8, thank you. Peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, widely building new structures. John F. Kennedy. I repeat, peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, quietly building new structures. John F. Kennedy.
So, yeah, that's very true. What you can hear from that quote from one of the presidents of the United States. This is truly a slow process which can be done every day. And how can it be done every day? It's like one of the pastors said here, through smiling, through it could be also through meditating, through interacting with friends in a good way, in a good manner. It could also be having to be able to amend relationships which may be not in a very good situation. Like all of that is a slow process which can be done every single day, either by an individual, a group of people, could be even a country, like an organization. It's something that some people actually usually think that even in relationships, like they'll just tell you have to change today. It's usually not like that. People take very slow. It could be a relationship between I don't know, a guy and a girl, or a parent to the child, or friends. Yeah, so peace between people, I believe, yeah, it's really a slow process, and it's something that we should be patient with each other and just live with love with one another and smile at each other. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Clara. Gradually, slowly, lovingly. That's how I understood what Clara was telling us. Who else would like to express their improvised opinions on this stage?
I'm not good at improvising, but I will try. I need to go out.
Thank you, Ekaterina. We used 1, 3, and 8, and the numbers are from 1 through 9. So obviously from 2 to 9 now. 4. 4, yes. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Albert Einstein.
Well, we can't speak about politics today, right? As I mentioned, I want Einstein and all his expression, just moving. So if you would like to create peace, you can't take, I don't know, some weapons and to do some and to force it in order to get it. You only can be friendly or you can communicate efficiently to create some environment around it. I believe that when people will think in such a way, when you kind of win thinking, it will be much, much better. And I'm pretty sure that when people again will be friendly and will ask and think in this particular way, we will live in peaceful environment, and I don't believe it's everywhere and this one but probably maybe I'm optimistic or maybe I'm crazy person, but I believe we will be one day in this final goal. So thank you.
Thank you. That a strong win-win. And thank you very much for emphatically underscoring this. Do we have someone from the online audience wishing to participate, perhaps? Georgi, would you?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, Georgi. We have the numbers 2, and then from 5 to 9, except 8.
Let's do 5.
Let's do 5. Number 5. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Jimmy Hendrix. When the power of love overcomes when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Jimi Hendrix.
Let me repeat it. When the power of love, I can't hear you well. That's why I am asking you to repeat.
When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace.
I'm thinking. So you know, I'd like to tell a story, and I'd like to ask a question. Do you know when that penguins lived on a pole, lives on a pole. And also bears live on a pole also, right? And why don't second not eat the first? Do you know why?
I know. Yes.
Yes, we know.
Do they love each other or not? So in this case, distance is better than love. So they live very far from each other because they live in different poles. That means sometimes love is better than power, or vice versa. That's it.
The choice is very clear. Given the choice between the power and love, we all understood what your personal preference is. Thank you for this. And I believe we might have a time for one more speaker. Who would like to do that? One more. It's number 2, 6, 7, or 9.
It's gonna take it away.
There have been no change.
Okay, let's do 2.
2.
Give me something.
It's a chance. Give peace a chance, John Lennon.
Fine. Always wonder about all this hypothetical quotes. What made people come up to this kind of conclusions? John Lennon was a highly educated person with a great big vision and horizons. So I think he probably knew what he was talking about, but like for me, like being a practical person, this makes me always think that he was had a lot of free time from this conclusion to think of which to create a nice phrase and write it down and make it popular. Or he was probably like a genius person, or maybe both of that. So I think that John Lennon knew exactly what peace is, so he knew what he was talking about. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And we are all grateful to Tatyana and to John Lennon for his very well expressed piece of wisdom. And here I would like to offer you a quick recap of our 6 speakers that we have just heard. The first speaker was Miles. He was opining on Mother Teresa's quote. It begins with a smile. He was followed by Olga, who was expressing her views on John Lennon's "Imagine all the people living life in peace." After that, we heard Clara's opinion on a quote by John Kennedy that peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly, gradual process, etc. Clara's speech was followed by Ekaterina's speech, who clearly told us why peace cannot be kept by force, commenting on Albert Einstein's quote. Then we heard a wonderful expression of thought from Georgi online, telling us his views on Jimi Hendrix's quote related to power and love. And to conclude, Tatyana has coined the profound testament to John Lennon's quote, "Give peace a chance." You all have the agendas with the QR code that invites you to vote for the best speaker. And while you are doing this, from me to conclude, I would like to tell you that peace is a great thing, and perhaps the most fruitful struggle, the most useful struggle, is the most challenging struggle and fight, is the fight and struggle with our own beautiful selves. The very moment we learn how to fight our own beautiful self, how to improve ourselves, how to make ourselves better, then we, by doing this, perhaps can make a world around us more peaceful and a better place. I thank you for your attention. Thank you for a wonderful single topic session. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kate. I always conduct such an intelligent session. Now we are moving to the third part of our meeting, and this is evaluation session. And I would like to invite here our Madam General Evaluator, Olga. And I also had a question to Alla regards disco type. And the question was, if you had a chance to turn around and look back and just give one recommendation to a disco generation, what would you recommend?
First of all, I would like to reject this question. Why? Because I don't think it's the worst thing to give advice to people of different generations. And I can say that in my young years, I was using disco dances, and it was pleasant for me, and I enjoyed it. The next generation of my family, of my daughter, was much more inclined to have individual dances, individual meetings, and so on and so forth. That's why disco was not for her. The third generation of my family, the third generation of my granddaughter now, I see there is some appeal to disco, but with more inclination to bars music. She's a great expert on bars, and from her I know the names of some bars of today, for example, Rubinina. And not long as yesterday, when we celebrated the birthday of her mother, my daughter, she played his songs on the guitar, so we enjoyed. That's why, in my final opinion, not to give advice, let them do what they like on their own.
That was a great piece of advice.
Let me, first of all, I think I shall give the floor to the then I'll give my own opinion of the speeches and estimate, give the floor to account and other people with minor rooms. So the first person evaluator is Anna Rubinina, who evaluates the project of Ekaterina Dymova.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your speech. You touch on very relevant, very important topic of learning, of finding your place. There is another thing that people all seek what is better, where is better. And I bet half of you ask this question these days. And you not only ask the question, you gave us the answer and illustrated it with your personal story. You started with a quote of My Angelo Prize. It was quite long. Let me read it once again. You are only free when you realize that you belong no place, and you belong to every place. And the price is high, and the reward is great. And you also finished, you started with the quote, you finished it with the last line, and you made it the title of the speech. The price is high, the reward is great. So, and you know, listen, hearing this phrase, I expected some challenge. So in your story, you missed this challenge. So you told us that you moved to London, tried it, it was great. Then yeah, but not that, not perfect for you. Then you moved to Australia, it was also very good. So I missed this challenge. Probably this quote, this last line was too, so it's quite strong. So probably you should, yes, implement in your speech some challenge. It would make it more dramatic, and the reward, the outcome of your search will be more valuable, right? You also lost the ending, you know. It was not clear where the end of your speech was. So you said that you lived in Australia, and then almost instantly that you found out that the main point is to be belong to yourself, to be
comfortable.
yeah, thank you, Clara. Yes, to be comfortable with yourself, and that's why you will feel happy everywhere. And we stopped in Australia. What are you doing here?
It will be another story.
So it was a little bit, so probably you had to return to Moscow, to Russia, and yeah, and make this ending more a little bit longer. Yes. So it was a little bit from. Okay, and you know the ending is the is one of the main parts of this speech, because people will remember the ending, not the beginning, not the middle part. They will remember the end. I would like to praise you for your presence on stage. You felt quite relaxed, you moved, yes. And even at the beginning, I heard that you played with your voice. It was so tender at some times. When you were reading the quote, so there were really, yeah, the vocal variety was good in this. So I would recommend you to work on the structure, yes, and remember the ending. So probably when you rehearse the speech, rehearse the ending first.
Thank you so much, Anna. You see, I like this project and the performance of the project very much. And I think that the main value of this project is the idea that belonging to yourself is the most important. It is an appeal to individualization of personality. That is the very important feature of our society. Thank you. So next, evaluator is next evaluator Pyzhlakov. She will evaluate the project of the new picture report.
Daniil, thank you very much for your project, for your speech.
your story was quite interesting. You added some jokes into your story, so that's why the audience was involved. That was very pleasant that your story was connected to the topic of our today's meeting. To disco your personal stories connected with discourse. Talking about the structure of your speech, I would recommend you to make the end writer. And I think that it's very important to highlight your main idea in the beginning of your speech and then in the end of your speech. Talking about your language, it was pretty good, but sometimes I mentioned that you were speaking very fast. I would recommend you to use different speed of your voice. You can talk sometimes faster, you can talk sometimes slower. It will make your speech more beautiful and more pleasant to understand. Also, I will recommend you to use your tone, the volume of your voice more. And talking about the gestures, I would say that sometimes they were great, you had gestures, but they were like that all the time. And sometimes you were doing that and standing in this pose for several seconds or a long period. So I would recommend you to have gestures more. And also, there is big stage, so you can move more to the stage, use the whole space on the stage. In the beginning of your speech, the eye contact was great. People can hear in the audience, you were looking at me, but sometimes when you were trying to remind something for several seconds, you were staring to the ceiling or to the wall. So for your next speeches, try to focus on the audience for all the time. Overall, it was a pretty good job. And good luck for your next speeches. Thank you.
When you had you, it was interesting. And now I'll give the speech to Anastasia, right? For evaluation of the faculty.
Dear Toastmasters, fellow members, we are Olga. Communication is the key. That's the thing that touched me a lot, because very often when I'm on the verge of tears, being the division director, working with my team, I recall that communication is truly the key. I really love the way you involve the quotation into the beginning of the speech, the transformed quotation of their gaze. And that was an example of a good supporting material you used in the speech. I also loved your thorough attitude to the developing and implementing your communication plan. During the whole speech, we could observe your thorough attitude to that. You started with learning your audience, know your audience technique. They are executors and doers. That was a good start. You gave us why and how points you implemented into your plan in a very detailed way, described in a very detailed way. Also, you added some psychological elements, safe environment. So you shared with us a lot of ingredients of successful implementation of your prepared communication plan. We really felt you as a true professional of the things you did together with your boss. I also felt your engaging spirit. There were emotions on your face when you described the things you were involved in. You wanted to speak even faster because I think you were overwhelmed with the information you wanted to share with us, but try to slow down because you cannot speak too fast on the stage. And I really felt your sincere gratefulness to the experience you had and your your sincere satisfaction from what you did together. That was really good. That was really great. And we truly felt you as a professional communication planner, if I can say so. What you could do better to make your speech even more successful? The first thing I paid attention to, that you very often, maybe 50% of the time, staying on the stage, you use crossed hands. You just return your hands here and stay like this. That's the thing you should pay attention to, because it creates an invisible barrier between you and the audience, and it really distracts us from being very close to you. We really wanted to be closer to you, so pay attention to your hands for the next time. I also wanted to have some preliminary plan before you started your body. For example, I would like to share with you our strategy, our how, why, and psychological elements we implemented, that would make us follow the speech easier and understand what you're going to talk about one by one. You had this short plan in the conclusion, and that would be very logical to add it before your body as well. And also another thing, in the conclusion, probably you could have added some results of your communication plan. Was the audience satisfied? Did they give you some positive feedback? And that would make the whole speech more logical and more complete, I should say so. So to sum up, very engaging spirit from inside, that was really good. A lot of supporting material, your own professional material, and some other material like quotes. Just avoid crossed hands, work a little bit on the body and the conclusion of your speech, and make your inner public speaker dream even bigger and bigger.
Thank you so much for this detailed evaluation. You are always known for detailed evaluations. And as to Olga, my best congratulations. For me, for example, it was of some cognitive value. You shared some features of your business practice with us, and it was very interesting and important. From what has been said by Jana, I can join maybe only that you could better stress the results of your practice in dialogue. It's very interesting. Did you manage to convince them to do their business the way you like? But I think it's a minor opinion. The most. So mainly, I think I could enjoy you. And now, let me give the floor to our minor roles executives, accountant George Perelman. George, are you here?
Yeah, I am here. Yes, I'm here.
What about your report?
Yeah. So I'm still in dark. So as for R and and so on, it was in total it was very good. So very few people used these phrases and these sounds, and I would like to mark those who didn't mention it. It was Olga, Daniil, Polina, Jana. I like to hear, not to hear these sounds. That's very nice. And as for these sounds, other people just used them, and I don't want to repeat it again. So you will see it in the video. I will upload it as soon as possible. So thank you very much for this nice meeting.
George. And now it is the role of timer. Timer, will you report to us?
Dear Toastmasters, thank you very much for this wonderful meeting. And I would like to thank you for this great discipline, like in army. We talked today about speed, but what a wonderful club. Literally all the members were in time. We have some exceptions. For the technical roles, Clara wasn't within time and has 42 seconds more. So for the next time, please have some more attention. And as for prepared speeches, everybody was in time. As for evaluation session, here we have some exceptions. So we have two great evaluators who weren't in time. It's Anna and it's Yana. I would like to repeat that we are not having a contest today, so it's okay. You are not disqualified, and I think it's better not to interrupt your evaluation when you see red cards from me. No recommendation. I have red card. I stop. No, so it's okay that you finished your great evaluation. You gave some recommendations to the speaker. But you, both of you, wasn't in time. Your speech was 1 minute longer than it should be. Thank you very much, dear friends, and I gave the microphone to Ala.
As far as I understand, we had no grammarian and no budget.
No.
Yes, okay. Now, a few words about wonderful tabletop today. I think we all should be very thankful to Daniil for this choice, because the subject of peace is very pressing. And thank you so much for this choice. Thank you so much for this wonderful choice of quotation, which show different aspects of the subject. And I think very good that finally Daniil summarized the key points of the improvised speakers. So I think, may I say like this, it was one of our best table topics. Oh, you don't agree?
Ever, she said ever.
So now about my general point of view of the meeting. We started 10 minutes later. It depended on some technical circumstances. Lot of the day given by Clara was very interesting, though she showed that she is not a disco person at all, but it shows that the people are different, and that's why there are disco persons and non-disco persons. Quite all right. As to the projects, I think they all of them were very interesting, and I think in general this meeting deserves rather high evaluation. So thank you so much. And now I give the floor to Tatyana.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for your evaluation. And before I proceed to the closing remark of our meeting, I would like to make an announcement. Our great, wonderful, amazing, brilliant Vice President Education Anna is resigning from her role, and our new Vice President Education is going to be beautiful, wonderful, amazing, ambitious, Polina Chelnokova. And I would like to ask the club members to vote for this role switching. Who votes for Polina?
So the club members,
Only for club members.
Yeah.
Voting.
yeah. Do you agree?
Can you say both?
Anybody against? Any? No, okay. So Polina, congratulations, you are Vice President Education officially now. Okay, and now let's guess who is the table topic winner tonight. And I have this wonderful ribbon, and it goes to Olga Latanova. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. If you have not donated 100 rubles yet, you have a chance to do so after the meeting. The box is over there, or you can do it via money transfer using Sberbank and Dymova. And next meeting is going to be in 2 weeks from today, and it is going to be November 23rd. And I hope next time we're going to have bigger room, but we will let you know later. We post the information in chat. And I'm not sure about after Friday. What's to do? Does anybody? I never go, that's why I don't offer you like, let's go, guys. No? Okay, it's up to you. So let's take a photo.
No.
Okay, no. Another announcement.
Yes. First, as a VP, I want you to use this link and evaluate our meeting. Why it's important. So the role takers will see the results, yeah, the points where in the chat, in the club chat. Yes, and we'll try the best to improve next time. So, yeah, this one. So take a minute.
This is for everyone, right? So not only club members. Toastmaster. I already took it. So you dropped it. I hope you dropped it and I took it.
Okay, ready, right? Almost ready. As the current, no, I'm not current, as the ex-VP,
Immediate.
yes, I would like to remind you about the importance of the evaluation forms you have when you do the meeting. So don't, so print them for your evaluator each time and keep these notes. They will help you to follow to track your progress, and they're very valuable when you want to make this progress. Yes, and I even insist that the UVP won't register your project without showing her this form completed with your evaluator. Okay.
Totally agree.
Repeat. Okay, can you show? I know that Yana had this form. So when you do a project, you get not only the oral evaluation, yeah, you get this printed, yeah, or yes, that's very important to you get these notes and keep them for you tracking your future progress. Okay, don't throw them. You can throw them away after you show these notes to VPN, Polina. You can send her in the chat And that's how she will register that you completed the project. Okay, that's very important. So, so she will register for herself, but you will register online in your base camp. Yes. Yeah. But you have to show her that you have this one. Actually, on the site, there is a place where you can download a copy of this. Has anyone know where it is? There is a place. But I just recommend to have a file and collect these sheets.
But it's in every project, there is this form and it's different all the time. What do you mean download what?
Upload.
Upload.
So you can scan it and upload it and keep it on your account. It's not in the base camp, it's on the different page, but in your account. That's what I want to say. Yes, next thing. So we congratulate people who reached their levels with ribbons. And Tatyana reached the first level in pathways and get a ribbon. No, can anyone?
But that's your second part.
No, her first part, because completed communication, what was it called? CC.
Communication part.
Competent communication. Yeah, competent communication.
So this is the second part.
We used to didn't have that. It was different like way. Different programs. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it's a previous program. So Tatyana is the Toastmaster for 10 years already.
Yes,
or even
that's why
11.
I'm surprised to know.
One more ribbon for the club that I yes. No, I forgot the verb for this. Huh? So yes, that's for the previous year when I was the area director, and that's the ribbon for the yes. That's all from me. Yeah.
Briefing is over, so see you in 2 weeks.
Let's take a picture.
Let's take a picture. Sign up for the role for the next meeting. It's going to be on November 23rd.
Подожди, ты его закрыла идеально, и мы не дали тебе ленту. Так, guys, one more person deserves the ribbon. Нет,
Tatyana,
Yes.
Tatyana,
Yes.
это Черняга.
Да, Ирина?
Ты меня слышишь?
Все вас слышат.
мы фоткаемся.
Говорите.
Есть нормальная слышимость, да?
Отлично слышно.
Спасибо.
Говорите, Ирина. Спасибо. Так, надо
Оля, хочешь торжественной обстановки? В следующий раз.
Ирина, вы что-то спросить хотели?